I thought my life ended with him until you came back. My name is Ethan, 27, and just a few weeks ago, I moved back to the small town I grew up in. Not because I wanted to, honestly it felt like failure at first, but because after 5 years of chasing a version of success in Chicago that never quite materialized, I was exhausted. Dreams faded. Bills piled up. I came home with more questions than answers. Now I live in my late parents' old second-floor apartment, just 2 blocks from my old high school. I landed a job at a local auto repair shop. Not glamorous but honest. Steady. Grounding. I hadn't even unpacked all my boxes when it happened. It was a Tuesday, my first official full-time day at the shop. I left early to grab a coffee from an old cafe near the park. Same faded green awning, same chipped brick walls. That place had been there since forever. And that's when I saw her. Clara. She stood across the street by the playground, dressed in black, her dark hair tied loosely behind her. She held the hand of a small boy, her son Noah. For a second I didn't even recognize her. Not because she looked different but because she didn't look. Her face was hollow. Her expression was blank, like she was staring into something too far away to reach. Her skin looked pale, lips cracked. Her hand hung loosely in Noah's, barely gripping back as he tugged at her. Felt like seeing a ghost. Because in a way I had. Clara's husband, James, my childhood best friend, died 2 months ago in a car crash. I read about it online back in Chicago. I didn't reach out. I didn't know how. And now, here she was right in front of me. I didn't call out. Didn't wave. I just stood there, frozen, heart hammering, watching her disappear down the sidewalk with her son. That image haunted me the rest of the day. At lunch, I found her number still saved in my phone. My thumb hovered for a solid minute before I finally typed. Hey, I saw you near the park this morning. I wasn't sure if I should say anything. But if you ever need anything or someone, I'm around. I hit send before I could overthink it. She didn't reply. Not that day. Not the next. I told myself it was okay. I wasn't expecting anything. But 3 nights later, just after 9 p.m., I got a message. Do you still mean what you said? I stared at it. Then typed back. Yeah, I'm here. Can you come by tomorrow? She asked. Just for a bit. The next day after work, I brought her favorite tea, jasmine green. No idea how I remembered that from college, but I did. Her house hadn't changed much. Beige paint peeling on the edges. Weeds creeping up the driveway. A lonely car seat in the back seat of a weathered sedan. When she opened the door, she looked like someone who hadn't slept in days. No makeup. Oversized sweater. Barefoot. Hey! I said softly. She just nodded and stepped aside. The house was dim. Toys scattered across the floor. A single lamp glowed in the corner. Dishes stacked in the sink. He's asleep, she whispered. I nodded and held up the tea. She stared at it for a second before quietly walking into the kitchen. Followed. We barely spoke. I boiled water. She sat at the table, gazing out the window like she was watching a world she couldn't touch. When I handed her the mug, she took it like she didn't quite trust it wouldn't break in her hands. We sat in silence for over an hour. Before I left, I fixed the leaky faucet. Something James had promised to get to, she said. No bitterness in her voice, just quiet. That was how it started. The visits became more frequent. First simple things. Fixing a cabinet. Picking up groceries. Watching Noah for an hour while she went to a therapy appointment. One Thursday she texted. Could you pick Noah up from daycare today? I have a doctor's appointment. She trusted me. I found Noah quietly playing with trucks. He looked at me uncertain. But he didn't cry. Home we built a tower of blocks. No big laughs. Just calm. Clara returned, surprised. He doesn't usually handle it well when I'm not the one picking him up, she said. Shrugged. We built a city. He might have a future in architecture. For the first time she smiled, just a flicker but real. We fell into a rhythm. Some days I'd cook. Others we'd just sit outside on the porch with tea and say nothing. Noah started calling me Ian, A toddler's mashup of Ethan. I never corrected him. One night, Clara looked at me and asked, "Why are you really doing all this?" I hesitated. "Because I didn't know how to be there for James. But I can be here for you. No expectations." A few weeks later I stayed the night. Not in her bed, on the couch. She came out around 2 a.m., whispered, "I can't sleep." We sat together under a shared blanket, her head against my shoulder. That was all. No lines crossed. Just human connection. Over time we stopped keeping track of favors. I'd show up with takeout, she'd offer me a drink. Sometimes we laughed, real, full laughter. Sometimes we sat through Noah's tantrums together, pretending not to cry ourselves. I was there the first time she packed James's things. I didn't say anything, just held the box. She was there the first time I admitted I never really knew who I was in Chicago. "This feels more like home than anything ever did," I said. She reached out and took my hand. 3 months in, we moved together, to a small rental on the edge of town. 2 bedrooms, backyard, faded hardwood floors. Nothing fancy, but it felt new. The first night we all slept on the floor, Liam clutching his favorite toy, Clara curled up beside him, and me near the door. Felt like family. Clara got a remote writing job. Kept working at the shop. Noah started calling me Dad by accident once. He caught himself. Looked embarrassed. Clara smiled. We didn't talk about what we were or weren't. We just kept building. One evening, Clara sat barefoot on the back steps. "I used to think my life ended with James," she said. I looked at her. I thought I'd just go through the motions forever. Raise Noah. Resist. But then you came back. I didn't reply. I didn't have to. She leaned her head on my shoulder and whispered, "I don't want to just survive anymore. I want something real." And for the first time since returning to this quiet town, I realized this wasn't about going back. It was about starting over, with her, with Noah, and with the kind of love that doesn't ask for anything loud or dramatic. Just presence, just care, just staying.